Joining me live now is former IDF spokesperson and now senior fellow at the Foundation for Defence of Democracies, Jonathan Conricus. Jonathan, appreciate it. Look, this is an historic moment, and we heard from Dave Mensa before that there has been some hurdles for Israel to get through, and potentially this is going to be set in stone by tonight. What's your reaction this hour?
Yes, good morning and thank you for having me. It's a bittersweet moment. I am very, very happy for what hopefully will be the return to Israel, to their loved ones, of some of the Israeli hostages. Each and every one that will be released is, as we say in Hebrew, he and she is a world of his own. And that will be a tremendous respite of suffering for many of the families. However, strategically speaking, I don't want to ruin the positivity here and the excitement, but strategically speaking, this isn't really a game changer if we look at the situation between Israel and Gaza on a bigger time frame. Hamas will unfortunately still be in power. The horrible situation in Gaza will continue. And as long as Hamas is in power, then unfortunately what the future holds is jihad and war and terror. For there to be real change, for there to be real reasons for optimism, then Hamas needs to be dismantled, and there needs to be an alternative Palestinian governance of Gaza. Then the rebuilding will begin, and then hopefully we can speak about, in years ahead, of substantial change. But that is not what we're talking about now. This is just a ceasefire and a partial return of not all, unfortunately, but some of the Israeli hostages. So yes, I'm happy that hostages will be coming home. I'm not happy with the general strategic importance of this deal.
And just so I've got this information correct, the first phase, which will last for 6 weeks, involves the partial withdrawal of Israeli military soldiers, including from the south to the north. Is that right?
Yes, I think you are correct. There is still ambiguity, and we have not seen yet an official signed version. And exactly what you mentioned, and I think you're hitting the nail on the head here, because that is perhaps one of the most contentious issues of how long will it take for Israeli troops to withdraw, and where will Israeli troops be present at the end of the ceasefire first stage and second stage. And according to Israeli reports, Hamas tried to place a last-minute ultimatum demanding Israeli troops withdraw already in the beginning. Israel refused that now in the just last few hours. And I think that'll be an important point. Why is it so important? Because Hamas, as we say, unfortunately, is still going to remain in power. What Hamas will try to do is to start to rebuild their capabilities and to import weapons again through Egypt, under the Egyptian border, into Gaza. And Israel wants to remain on that border in order to make it as difficult as possible for Hamas to regain weapons and to smuggle weapons into Gaza. That's why it's so important. The only positive thing that I think will come of this is perhaps a temporary respite in fighting and maybe more humanitarian aid for Gazans. But this is not a long-term strategic change for them. And some Israeli families will be whole again. Some of them will bury their loved ones. Some of them will start a long and very difficult journey of healing. Hopefully there's someone who can be able to be healed after 470 days in Hamas captivity. But it's a long, long way ahead.
Jonathan Conricus, really appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.